we it's triggering for people to hear this when they're in a struggling place, and I understand that. And it's taken a lot of owning my own stuff, to get to where I am
The
now. So it's very
responsibility,
easy
yes.
for me to say this, but asking yourself when you make a decision, does this align with my values? And what that does is it creates inner stability. So it doesn't matter what anybody else, I have these values. And so long as I make my decisions based on my values, then I know I'm doing the right thing. But it helps. There was lots there that was saying to me, oh, people are going to say this. And maybe people did behind my back, maybe they did, but I don't know. And I don't care.
Yeah.
Because I really genuinely want to help people and I have something to say. So I was like, I'll just give it a go, and
Fear breaks down to false evidence appearing real. We create false evidence that appears real
yeah,
in our minds.
yeah, definitely. And we, it's triggering for people to hear this when they're in a struggling place, and I understand that. And it's taken a lot of owning my own stuff, to get to where I am
The
now. So it's very
responsibility,
easy
yes.
for me to say this, but a lot of the pain we do to ourselves, we imagine things that aren't there. We we run dialogues and stories that aren't true, that are not based in fact. So for an example, my son, this is an example of how he causes his own pain. And I talk about this all the time with him. So he doesn't want to go to karate. He's decided, I'm tired, I don't want to go to karate. This is my older one. And he stands in karate going, I don't want to be here. 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 And his whole body is like, I don't want to be here. And I'm like, Vita, you just need to accept it, because at the moment you're causing your own pain now. Like, if you just accept it and let it go and just get on with it, it wouldn't be so painful. But because he insists on saying, I'd rather be at home, I feel tired, I don't really want to do this, he's creating his own, he's making it painful for himself. And we do this. I spent a lot of my life making my life painful for myself because of the things that I'm saying to myself. So a big thing is owning whose belief it is.
Yeah.
It's like
Can I just add on to your story for a second? You have to remind me of something. I was driving home from the shops the other day, and I'm in the countryside, and there was a girl walking really slow along the road. She looked like she was in her pajama bottoms. And then I drove on a bit further, and there was two more girls up ahead. And I was like, oh my god, this reminds me of my teenage years. When there's three friends in a teenage sleepover, one friend always gets moody and stoops.
yeah,
And the two other girls are off talking and happy, And the girl in pajamas was like the one that didn't want to go on the walk, so she trailed behind. And I can say this because I was both sides of the spectrum. I used to be the girls that weren't moody, and I used to be the girl that was moody. And it is like you'd have a shit sleepover like that girl was having, and everything was against her. And she's like, "Oh, you're talking about me. Everything's so sad." And that's because you're not partaking, because you think it just reminded me like how you just said about Ben. It's just like we literally can ruin our own day by thinking stuff that's not real, and then we can create that scenario by thinking it in our own heads. And that girl, obviously, like I did as a teenager, created that scenario where she trailed behind. And like, I used to be that girl at one stage. It was like, yeah, if I trail behind, they'll just walk off ahead, and they're not even going to notice that I'm not
yeah.
behind.
Then they're like,
Like,
they don't even care. They don't
no,
care
because
that I don't want to do
they're
it.
up ahead going, Jesus, she's awfully moody and cranky, isn't she?
Yeah. And
I
then
was so excited about it.
it's a self-fulfilling prophecy then, isn't it?
Yes.
Again, because of our own behavior, because of what
Yeah.
we're thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's craziness, isn't it? And if you can break it, it takes a lot of self-compassion and love, because actually accepting that a lot of these beliefs are self-made, like believing that you're not as good as other people is from you. It's not other people. And I'm not saying that other people don't treat you badly sometimes, or that you might not feel that you fit in with a certain group, but a lot of the pain that we cause is our own beliefs. And And the wonderful thing about being brave enough to take responsibility that's mine. That is mine. When you realize it's yours, you can change it. You know,
Yeah.
when it's somebody else's, you can't. As soon as you realize that you are projecting your bad feelings about yourself on your interactions with other people, and all you have to do is change how you feel
Yeah.
about yourself, and things change. You know, it's empowering. It's difficult though. It is like that, taking responsibility for how you're feeling is, it's uncomfortable because nobody wants to think that they've done it to themselves, do they? I mean, I know, like,
Yeah.
myself, I didn't want to think. And sometimes we're not ready. It's like, you shut the book. I'm not reading that. Leave that for 10 years until I'm ready. It's the same thing. At that point, you weren't ready to take ownership of that maybe, you know, things can be different. We just
Yeah.
feel comfortable in our comfort zone where things can't be different, and have a whole different level of hard, isn't it?
Yeah.
So owning whose belief it is. So when we're like, I'm not highly thought of in work, is that everybody else's belief, or is that your belief? And is there things that you can do to change that? So that's some steps. So to just quickly say them again: mindset shifts, self-awareness, self-validation and compassion and love, affirmations and visualizations can help. Meditation always can help us order our thoughts and calm our brains, and help with visualization and stuff. And making small changes, just creeping out of that comfort zone and daring to do something different so that you can build up positive positive experiences to draw upon. And one great tool is to know your values. So if you are guided by lots of other people's opinions, the best way, I think, is to be self-guided, is to know what your values are and judge all your decisions based on that. So have 3 to 5 core values. So they could be things like, I'm authentic. I'm going to be authentic. Or it might be, I am kindness. Remember, kindness means yourself as well. I'm going to be an honest person. I'm going to be creative. I'm going to have courage, compassion, freedom, or whatever it is. 3 to 5 core values that are really important to you. Now, you'll probably find that when you have a think, you probably don't even know what your values are. It's probably quite hard. So take some time to think about it. Some places to start is thinking, what is important to me? What is? And also when you're thinking that, is it important to me? Or is it given to me?
Yeah.
Is my parents passed that value down to me, and do I agree with it? So it's not.
Exactly. Yeah. We inherit that learned behavior. It's like, I'm so passionate about this. And it's like, are you, or did you learn it? Did
Yeah.
you learn it because your parents are passionate about it? And like I said this before, when I started to become self-aware, I said the question was, does this make me happy or does it make society happy?
Happy.
That's the thing. So if it's making me happy, yes, I'm going to do it. Or am I doing it because my friends would like it or my parents would like it or whatever? Ask yourself that question. Is it truly making you happy?
Yeah. So what is important? Make sure it's your value and not a gifted one from some time in your life or the people you hang around with. It's okay to have different values, so long as you choose the right ones for you. And that's why I say to have 3 to 5, because if you keep them small, it's very easy to check your decisions based on that. Write them down and know what they are. Another way to think is, think about a time when you've made a decision and you felt really proud of yourself, not because of how other people's viewed you, but because you actually felt proud of something that you did. It might be something that nobody else knows about, but you felt proud in that moment. Then that's probably linked to a value that you were honoring, and that might be a good value to have, a core value to have. And then keep asking yourself when you make a decision, does this align with my values? And what that does is it creates inner stability. So you're not, it doesn't matter what anybody else, I have these values. And so long as I make my decisions based on my values, then I know I'm doing the right thing. It helps you to stop seeking external validation because you're validating your choices based on your values. It gives you courage to say no because that's not in line with my values. I know what my values are. They help you overcome fear of judgment because you're judging yourself based on your values, not based on anybody else. They strengthen self-worth. If you know what your values are and you're living by them, then you feel worthy. And you don't have to do that to be worthy. You are already worthy. But if you need to build your feelings of self-worth, having values and living by them is a great way to build that up and have confidence that you are worthy without needing the car or the house or the job or whatever label it is. You can be self-guided. So that's a great way, I think, for I would go to values first myself.
Yeah,
and self-awareness. So it's being aware how we speak to ourselves. Speak to yourself how you would a child. And like Angela says, it's like you're being the parent to yourself,
exactly.
that inner child, because you deserve it. You deserve as much as anybody your own compassion, you know, and often we don't factor ourselves in if we're people pleasers.
This is it. We don't have, like, you know, you're actually reminding me of an experiment as you did. You know what I mean? So, like, you know, you said mentioned values there, but it's about being right as well. Like, you trusting your own guidance system, trusting your own truth. So, you know, the experiment they did was this is funny. Like, you know, there was a picture of two lines, or a line, and then a picture of three lines on the opposite page, and it was like, which one matches line A or whatever. And you know yourself, this line matches this line, 100%, 100%. And then they brought in dummies, say, into the experiment to say that B was the answer, not A. And a lot of the time, the person would actually change their answer to the wrong answer because the group said it was B. And this is the perfect example of us caring what other people think. You could know scientifically and have all the proof in the world of something, but somebody come in and say, no, that's wrong. And you're like, you start to doubt yourself. You start to question yourself. You're like, Jesus, maybe I am wrong. Maybe I am. Oh my God. Do you know what I mean? Even though you have scientific proof. And it's just like, yeah, this is why we have that simple thing of trusting yourself, believing in yourself, knowing that you're right. You know what I mean? Because like, oftentimes when we're in the crowd, we end up doing something against our values because it's what they want us to do. It's about being respectful towards yourself, trusting yourself, and owning your own work and owning your own voice. Because you are right and you are worthy, as you just said.
Yeah. Well, there's that famous, is it Milgram study in psychology where, have you heard of it, where they had an actor who pretended to be a participant and then a participant, and they met each other, and then one was in this room where he couldn't see the real participant, couldn't see the actor, but they could hear them, and they had to give electric shocks. Have you heard of that one?
No.
And yeah. So basically they had loads of switches, and they said that the idea is to test pain. It was something to do with like, we're testing whether pain affects how able someone is to be right or something, to answer a question. That's not what they were really studying. And so the participant had to ask a question, and when the actor, which they didn't know was an actor, got it wrong, they would issue an electric shock. And they were given the lowest level of electric shock, so they knew what it felt like. But it went up in increments, and it went up, and it was even labeled as lethal dose. And they would keep shocking them. And then they would start getting uncomfortable because the actor was sounding like it was really hurting, and they would be begging for it to stop. And they would just have somebody in a lab coat going, it's important that you carry on. And because of that authority, people would do things that they would go up to a lethal dose, and they would even keep shocking them when they wouldn't answer, because they're like, they haven't answered the question. And the person in the lab coat was like, well, you take that as a wrong answer. And they kept on shocking them all the way up. So it just shows how guided we are by other people, you know. And I guess that I think that was done because of the stuff around Nazi Germany. I think, you know, it's like, why did people go along with it? And you see it still, don't you? Like all around the world, why people go along with things that are not okay, because the majority do. It's like you have diminished responsibility when you're making a group decision. Yeah. So,
and like, you know, it is hard to go against the grain, and it is hard to stand out, and it is hard to be different. But no, sorry, so just going being fake and doing it the wrong way, or just following the crowd just because you feel like you're going to get validated. No, don't do it. I'm sorry, that just really just gives me the ick, like, you know, of people not being real, not being their true selves. You know, be different, own that difference, own who you are, whether it's your appearance or whether it's your mind or your weirdness. Let that freak flag fly. Just be you, because that's what we want to see. Like, you know, I like to joke that you know, they say they broke the mold when they met me, but I like to say that they not only broke the mold, they doused it in fucking petrol and said, "Fucking be done." You know, because I am so different, and I love that being different. You know what I mean? And I just we really need to start showing our truth, our authenticity to the world, because that's what makes us really beautiful. You know, I think the same people, and oh my God, the amount of people that look the same these days, they look the exact same because they're putting the same fillers into their faces or wearing the same kind of clothes, and it's just like, oh my God, where's the natural look? Come on, that's what's beautiful.
There's lots of people I've noticed on reels are doing things like, which I think is great, that trying to get the message out there, where they'll just go to like a really busy airport or whatever, and they'll do something absolutely ridiculous, and they're on the look, nobody cares that I'm doing this ridiculous thing. People don't care. People are not thinking about you, and it's so true. But we keep ourselves in a little box, you know. We dull our shine because we're scared of how people might react to it. And nothing bad happens. It's like when we came started doing these lives. I know you were already online before I started doing lives, but there was lots there that was saying to me, oh, people are going to say this, and maybe people did behind my back, you know, maybe they did, but I don't know, and I don't care. Because I really genuinely want to help people, and I have something to say, so I was like, I'll just give it a go, you know. And the more that you kind of defy the norm, the more comfortable you get with it, don't you? You know. And it's like, we're not saying go upset other people, like don't care about other people. It's like, don't care about other people's view of you. I love this quote, actually. It's by RuPaul, American drag queen, singer, and TV personality, apparently. I have heard this quote a lot, though. What other people think of me is none of my business. And I think that's a great way to look at it. Like, instead of trying to work
that's
out what they think about you, just think, it's none of my business.
That's what I love about the likes of RuPaul and anyone who's owning their identity in that sense. You know, they get ridiculed a lot, but I just think it's beautiful. You know, transgender people, there are people that are owning who they feel and what they feel. You know, and I actually, it took me a long time. I had different views on that before, but now I've come to respect those people because, you know, they're owning who they are, and it's such a lot of it does. And like, you know, when we're speaking about just owning our personality, they're having to own a completely different gender. You know what I mean? And, you know, to show that to the world, you know, people disrespect those people an awful lot. And it's just, I think they should be admired for having the balls. Sorry, no pun intended. Sorry. You know, to do that kind of thing. Oh, yeah, so you can't wait.
Yeah,
Anyway, I think that that's an authentic person. So it's actually good that you did a quote by RuPaul because I might have given out years ago about men wearing makeup or owning their feminine side or whatever, and now I think it's beautiful, and I think there's beautiful people are beautiful in any way they appear once it's authentic, and that's it.
yeah, 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 yeah. And then another quote by Renee Brown is, "Don't shrink, don't puff up, just stand your sacred ground," which I think is nice because sometimes we think, right, well, I'm not going to shrink, so I'm going to be in their face. And it's like, you don't have to be up and defensive and, because that's also not being
Yeah,
authentic. Just stand in your, as she says, stand your sacred ground. Just be who you are and be okay with that. And something that Aaron Doherty says a lot is, real freedom lies in being okay with people not liking you, you know,
that's it.
because you can't please everyone, you know.
Yeah,
And I hate the idea that people didn't like me. Yeah, I thought everybody didn't like me. So you can imagine what mess I was in. Um, but actually, you're just not going to be everybody's cup of tea. And that's okay.
yeah. And the people who don't like you aren't your people. It's that simple. They're
Yeah.
just not. They're not as weird as you, so that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, gosh, another good one. We've 3 minutes past 7 now.
Oh,
So
very good. I love that. It just flies through life. It's mad. Love that.
it just seems to fly these days, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So, quick reminder, the things to do if you are wanting to break away from people's opinions and build your own self-confidence and self-worth, um, and believe in yourself, is look at set shift. Can't talk. Mindset. Mindset shifts around opinions only being perspectives. Um, self-awareness around your own beliefs, but around your thought patterns and how you speak to yourself. Because if you're not treating yourself with respect, then you can't expect other people to. Self-validation, making sure you're being compassionate and kind and celebrating wins, and affirmations and visualizations. We always say meditation because meditation is amazing. um, Make small changes. If you can do something like, as I would say, Elliot jumping down a desk slide, if you can do something that drastic, great, go for it. However, if you are more nervous, then just small changes that step outside of that fear of being judged is is going to build up positive experiences so that you can keep building and do bigger and bigger things and be more and more authentic, and know your values, because your values will guide you, and when you're self-guided, then other people's opinions don't matter. And to finish, join Teacher Mindset Matters. It's our free Facebook. I don't know what's happened to my mouth today, it's not working. Our free Facebook group, where we have lots of mindset coaches from all different types of fields. We are wanting to help teachers and school support staff. If you work in a school, no matter what your role is, yeah, you are very welcome. And we just want to put some positivity out there, some ideas to build your well-being generally. And there is advice on nutrition and family stuff and meditations, and we have lots of quotes, positive quotes to fill your news feed with positivity, because there's lots of negativity out there. So search Teacher Mindset Matters on Facebook. We're the only one. And I'll see you next week.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye.
Yeah.